listeners, this is Dr. Teo Wan Lin, and welcome to today's episode of Dermatologist Talks Science of Beauty. In the last episode, we spoke about the relevance of natural light in terms of how it stimulates our circadian rhythm and how coincidentally that we also happen to look our best in natural light. Today, we're going to focus on the other aspect of the circadian rhythm, which is the phenomenon of darkness and its association with the need for rest. Now, the human reaction to lighting is very well established and is relevant for us in today's podcast because we are investigating the impact of sleep deprivation. In particular, we want to zoom in on two studies performed by sleep laboratories in Sweden, which correlated assessment of attractiveness and beauty with sleep deprivation states. Now, we all can identify with being sleep deprived at some stage of our lives, but did you know that sleep-deprived individuals are perceived, according to these studies, as less healthy, less attractive, and more tired than those who had a normal night's rest? So, in the first study, the investigators recruited 23 healthy but sleep-deprived adults from the ages of 18 to 31 who were photographed and included 65 untrained observers who rated these photographs. The study was designed in such a way that the participants were photographed after a normal night's sleep of 8 hours and separately in a sleep-deprived state, which was induced in the following way. They had a night of reduced sleep followed by 31 hours of wakefulness before their photos were taken. These photos were then randomized and rated by these layperson observers who were untrained. The results were very interesting, though I wouldn't say they were surprising, but it's truly fascinating that laypersons were readily able to pick up sleep deprivation in these photographs. It was also correlated with decreased attractiveness score. So that's very significant because to date, medical science especially has been focusing on aging as a biological process that seems to be irreversible with regards to the chronology of one's age. But clearly, in this study, what the participants were rated on was actually a level of attractiveness and a health state that was directly correlated to the number of hours of rest that they had the night before. So there clearly is a morphological effect on the faces of individuals who are sleep deprived versus when they are well rested. So, in terms of our established theories of cell aging, I feel that this presents as a very important point of discussion. So what they actually show here is that there are fluctuations within a very similar time frame in the fairly objective assessment of an individual's overall appearance just purely as a result of sleep deprivation. There is clearly much more to this than meets the eye, as the obvious concept here is actually cell senescence. Aging itself is due to the degeneration of your skin cells with chronological age. And essentially what this means is that if you are growing older, then your cells gradually fall asleep. And then they are then less able to carry out DNA repair on a daily basis. So when one is sleep deprived, there is likely an almost immediate effect in terms of its impact on cellular senescence. And this causes the appearance of the individuals to be altered. Now, this is very surprising because we generally do not believe that there is significant skin aging that occurs, well, in this case, clearly within a matter of days and to a level that is perceptible to the naked eye. And certainly it should not be a reversible state. So therein is the point here, which is whatever is going on, it was clearly detectable with the human eye and not necessitating a microscopic analysis. So what has to be borne out still, perhaps, by cellular studies for a more accurate assessment of what's going on in the skin is warranted. There are clear signs here, and we can possibly hypothesize is related to facial expressions. For example, the appearance of the eyes, the skin around the eyes could be an important marker of fatigue. And we readily and intuitively understand that because increased dark circles, fine lines around the eyes is overall associated with eye fatigue due to congestion of the tissues around the area. So the other consideration could be related to facial expressions. So a facial expression that's linked to fatigue, or in the case of the second study, it was actually associated with an impression that the subject was sleep deprived, was actually looking sad. So the takeaway was that the eye fatigue signs actually painted a picture to the human eye as a less attractive and less healthy state. All these were consequences of the perception of these sleep-deprived individuals. So we can definitely consider these sleep-related facial cues as potential implications for social and also clinical assessments and behavioral studies. In the second study, it was very interesting that the observers involved characterized the appearance of sleep-deprived individuals in great detail. So having heavy-looking eyelids, swollen eyes, dark circles, increased fine lines and wrinkles, as well as facial expressions, such as the corners of one's mouth drooping. So these were all facial cues assessed according to the visual analog scales. So the ratings of fatigue were correlated to, for example, a glazed appearance of the eyes and the other facial cues which are affected by sleep deprivation. And these were actually considered to be mathematically, statistically significant. So in this case, we have brought up two studies which are experimental in nature, but it's very readily understood because it is easy for the individual to identify in terms of our own personal experience with sleep deprivation or our observations of individuals who are sleep deprived. So I think the effects of sleep deprivation are clear in terms of its negative impact on your overall health and immune system. But the fact that this study managed to articulate the relationship of sleep deprivation with, say, physical appearance and attractiveness is actually groundbreaking. I feel that if you put this in the context of our anti-aging or positive aging endeavors, it is highly relevant. We are doing much in terms of our skincare, cosmetic treatments, and of course, the advocates of a healthy lifestyle would actually feel vindicated by such findings. It may have been easy to dismiss the impact of this as purely psychological, but at the end of the day, we are in pursuit of looking better and feeling better, such as after a good night's rest, is an intuitive intervention to feeling better. So when you feel better as well, we tend to show it on our faces. And I think the highlight for me really was the finding that facial expressions of sadness, such as what was described as the corners of one's mouth drooping, was actually observed by the participants as a sign of sleep deprivation associated sadness. And this was considered unattractive and was consistently found in all these sleep-deprived individuals. I think the most fundamental thing we can do to make ourselves more beautiful or attractive is really to focus on our health. And because of the way biological life is designed, we are made to wake up early in the morning and to go to bed, hopefully, when the sun goes down. Any disruption of this circadian rhythm upsets our natural hormone cycles that are designed to keep us in a healthy sleep-wake cycle. And when we function well in terms of our bodily organs and also our mood, we naturally will look our best and feel our best, and it becomes a positive vicious cycle in that sense because we understand increasingly the relationship between the brain and the skin, what we call the brain-skin connection, primarily from studies that explore the impact of stress on the immune system of the skin, which triggers off flare-ups of many, if not all, skin conditions. So this actually has far-reaching consequences in terms of our selection of skincare as well. Skincare, especially when applied before one goes to bed, is said to assist in the skin cell rejuvenation process. Hence, the logic behind repair, night creams, and also the focus on cellular energy in terms of many of the research studies conducted by cosmetic giants in the last decade or so. It is extremely pertinent here to note that when you are sleeping, something else may be going on in your skin that actually impacts your appearance the very next day. And it could be an opportunity for these stem cell energizing active ingredients to work and intervene in these biological processes as well. Now, I think specific histological studies are going to be helpful in terms of either proving or disproving this theory. But it all already neatly fits in with our current understanding of inflammaging as the key pathway to the aging process, and how it is actually extremely important to incorporate antioxidant skincare and also antioxidants in your diet in order to counteract the negative impact of inflammaging, which, according to the skin exposome concept of aging, is critically responsible for the morphological expression of photoaging, such as fine lines, wrinkles, irregular skin texture, dark spots. Well, we've spoken a lot about the impact of sleep deprivation today. Now, the key here, of course, is what is my best advice to an individual who perhaps does have to work a certain number of hours in the nighttime or has difficulty, changing their work schedule in a way that directly fits into this ideal circadian rhythm that we're talking about. Well, I myself was working as a junior doctor for some time before I entered dermatology residency, and I suffered from sleep deprivation because of the nature of our work. So we were required to work overnight shifts, and that certainly disrupted my sleep-wake cycle. What I would advocate is essentially simulating some form of light and darkness cycle, whether it be in the form of you ensuring that your room is completely dark when you're sleeping, turning off any light emitting sources, any devices, and also being able to sleep consecutively for several hours is also much more important than having very disjointed sleep. Overall, I feel that it is very important for us to keep to a schedule. So human beings mentally, psychologically, and physically are designed to work according to a certain system that runs literally like a clockwork. And this is the very basis of our hormones being secreted at the right times of the day so that we are energized to wake up and feel tired at the end of the day to go to sleep. So the more we are able to work in tandem with this natural rhythm, the more we understand it and the more we prioritize that over activities that may seem enjoyable at that moment but ends up causing us to be sleep deprived, then I feel we will reap the benefits much sooner. And the best part is this type of beauty treatment is completely free. So I highly recommend all of you try it out in the next month. Well, that's it for today's episode of Dermatologist Talks Science of Beauty. Remember to follow me on my Instagram at Dr. Teo Wan Lin, and also visit our podcast website, www.scienceofbeauty.net, where we have a lot of other very interesting skincare educational articles and videos and masterclasses, which I hope you will enjoy.